to be kept there all the time. Because if you can so agitate the population and make them so stressed out all the time, they weld into this mob mind, and the few that don't become drones can be picked up and, of course, like in Stalingrad, taken away to camps to be re-educated. And you don't want them to breed because, of course, genetically they're resistant to becoming drones. So one can see that the Rothschilds aren't stupid. They wish to have a new world order, but like Aldous Huxley said, they want the slaves to be of a different species to the Mariah Wind, Illuminati, Ashkenazi class. Now, how can this be done? How can you produce the Goyim, who are absolute drones, and the Ashkenazi Talmudic Satanists, who are the ruling class, elite, and have the power of a pharaoh, or in the case of what comes after the so-called demise of Obama, the Ashkenazi Stalinist state. How can you have this production of the so-called underclass, which is all a population composed of 100% of drones? Well, you can fluoride them to damage the brain, microwave them, have an education system that de-educates them to become a drone. You can have mobile phones that fry their brain and produce drone-like abilities. Because remember, if you can cut the intellectual capacity of the 15%, then more and more of them will fall into the drone class. And remember, with this Edelman research, the brain keeps rewiring itself. If you can continually cause the wiring to become less and less connected by having a brain which is highly agitated and stressed, and mobile phones, example, highly stress the brain, then the number of neuronal interconnections becomes less. The more stressed the brain is, the less connections there are in the brain, and the more likely you are to produce a drone. Now, there's something even worse called saltation, which is that biologists who were excommunicated from the mainstream found that there was a morphogenic field that actually caused the body to change. So even though you've got the DNA, it hasn't got enough information to produce a body, and the DNA is actually given the extra information by the morphogenic field, which these Oxford biologists discovered, wrote some books on before they were excommunicated. Because remember, you can't do research which is of any value because, of course, the public aren't allowed to know it. But luckily, they published it. And this means that you can have something called reverse saltation, where, for example, in evolution, when an organism evolves, it doesn't just develop wings, it develops wings and feathers and flight muscles, so it can fly all at the same time. This is called saltation. Now, if you can think of the 100th idiot effect, you can actually get reverse saltation. You can actually damage the morphogenic field in such a way that the population produces more and more drones. And if you've got ways of damaging or modifying the morphogenic field, for example, the pharaohs built pyramids which were designed to do this, and if you have other structures, if you can build the same pyramid-type structures into buildings, and if you can fixate those buildings in the minds of humans, for example, 9/11, then you have a way of altering the morphogenic field, which then means that even though you might have the DNA of an alpha or a leader, the morphogenic field has been so stunted that you don't produce the alpha or leader, and that so-called alpha and leader genetically becomes a drone in its gene expression, because the morphogenic field, the energy field around people, has been damaged. So that's why we've got so much microwave damage. We've got these ELF towers. We've got
you make the point
television,
clear.
which I talked about, which is vital for the Rothschilds.
That's a crucial program.
For this specific effect, because if you can produce reverse saltation, it then becomes an evolutionary factor, and you can evolve humans from being a race of 85% drones and 15% non to a race of 100% drones using this technology. So you can see that HD television, which I talked about before, fits into the Obama case. And Obama is the missing link between the so-called pharaonic technology and the neo-Stalinist technology, where the Rothschilds, the Ashkenazi, rule as a central committee of pharaohs, and anyone who in any way, shape, form, or function is not a drone is taken away. And anyone who doesn't display drone-like behavior is picked upon by the pack and, of course, subject to peer pressure. So I'm just giving you a glimpse of the technology which the New World Order is applying to the Westerners to produce this homogeneous race of drones. And, of course, by mixing the black, white, and Arab races together, you can, if you are clever, produce a triangle of art and actually trade them off. So you can basically cancel out the good points in the white race with the good points in the black race with the good points in the Arab race to actually accelerate the process. So Obama, who is worshipped as the divine god of the West, the Pharaoh of the West, can be seen to be acting not only on the so-called biological level, but on the morphogenic level, which, of course, the Pentagon has been interested in with remote viewing, remote influencing, remote killing. And I'm just explaining to you some of the things that people in MI6 occult branch know as just standard training. And, of course, the Rothschilds over dinner said I should give out some of their inner secrets because, of course, they want, to have the drones knowing all the secrets to educate the masses. So at least now you begin to understand why some of the strange things that happen in the West aren't strange, and there is a plan which is going ahead, and Obama is vital to bringing the West into this neo-Stalinist pharaonic state, which Stalin had absolute power for the Ashkenazi.
Right. Well, he's off to a pretty good start. He's running true to form, as you've been calling it. And thank you, Tim. Always fascinating. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Tim Rifat, live from England. Only one, Tim Rifat, and you hear him exclusively here. All right, we'll be back.